Hello, in this session we will discuss about quantum mechanical wave and Schrodinger's equation. Like Newton's second law of motion, we cannot precisely derive the Schrodinger's equation, but we can understand the line of thinking of Schrodinger. So to understand the Schrodinger's equation, we'll start with classical non-dispersive wave equation, then we'll also understand standing waves, then we'll apply de Broglie relation to both of them, that is classical non-dispersive wave equation and standing wave, and we'll try to understand the Schrodinger's equation. So before going to Schrodinger's equation, we will first understand classical non-dispersive wave propagation, and the second thing is standing wave. So we'll start with non-dispersive medium. What is a non-dispersive medium? A medium in which all frequency of electromagnetic spectrum or electromagnetic wave, the various frequencies of different electromagnetic wave propagate at a same velocity. Such kind of mediums are called non-dispersive mediums. From elementary physics we know that the amplitude with time and distance, the variation of amplitude of the wave, non-dispersive, progressive wave in non-dispersive medium with respect to time and distance is given as this dou square psi xt over dx square is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi xt over dt square. Now v is velocity of propagation of the progressive wave, psi xt is the displacement of the wave, that is the classical wave. So this is an idealized representation of the classical wave, where lambda represents the wavelength, phi represents the phase angle, and a represents the amplitude or displacement of the wave. So this is all about the non-dispersive wave propagation. Then we will discuss standing wave. Any wave which is bounded between two regions, means any wave which is bounded between two regions is called standing wave. Like guitar string, the string is bounded, so it is not free to move. So such kind, the waves generating from any bound state is called standing wave. Standing waves play an important role in quantum mechanics as they represent stationary state. Now what is stationary state? Stationary states are the state of the system which does not evolve with time, means whatever the system, it remains constant with respect to time. Thus all the system properties, if they remain constant with respect to time, is called stationary state. So upon solving the standing waves, we can find out the properties of stationary states. So why we are discussing standing wave and stationary states here? Because our main aim is to discuss about electronic movement, or to understand the electronic wave function. So electron under the influence of nucleus behave as a bound state system, and its wave equation behaves as a standing wave equation. So that's why we are studying standing wave, and upon understanding standing wave, we can also find out the properties of stationary states. So a standing wave can be, the displacement of a standing wave can be written as psi xt is equal to a sine kx minus omega t. For convenience, we are considering only the sinusoidal part of the wave equation. We are not considering the cos part, and the wave has a wavelength lambda and frequency nu is equal to 1 by t. For such a standing wave, the displacement is given as psi xt is equal to a sine kx minus omega t. Now what is k here? K is the wave vector, omega is the angular frequency, and frequency is nu is equal to 1 by t. The wave vector k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Again the angular frequency omega is equal to 2 pi nu, or 2 pi by over t. So a is the amplitude, x and t are position and time variables respectively of the standing wave. So the standing wave, where node appears, node means there is zero displacement. To find out the node, we can say here this is sine theta kind of thing. If this total expression is theta, then we can say when sine theta is 0, then there is the node appears, or when sine theta is equal to n pi. So for our case, the theta is 2 pi x by lambda minus t by t is equal to n pi. So when this condition is satisfied, then we will get nodes. So the displacement is the x direction is x. So in the propagation direction, that is in x, we will get nodes at lambda over lambda multiplied by n by 2 minus t by t. When this condition is satisfied, we'll get nodes. Now what is n? N is in integer and x signifies the location of the nodes. So this is all about standing waves, its displacement and where we'll find the nodes. Now there is a peculiar thing happens in standing waves. This is a representation of standing wave. As I said, standing waves are bound state system. So when a wave propagates, at the end, the end can be at any place. At the end, the wave cannot continue its progressive motion. It has to rebound. So when the wave rebounds, it again interferes with a incident wave. So there is an incident wave and there is a reflected wave. So the resultant wave may be there is interference takes place, and the resultant wave may be of like constructive interference, or the resultant wave could be due to of destructive interference. So basically what happens, there is an incident wave and there is a reflective wave in a standing wave condition, and so we'll understand what happens when there is an incident wave and there is a reflective wave. Consider the superposition of two waves of same frequency and amplitude that are moving in opposite direction. That is the incident wave and reflective wave. They are moving in opposite direction. The resultant wave amplitude is sum of individual amplitude. So we'll find out this resultant amplitude. Now why we are doing this? Because why we are considering superposition of two waves of same frequency and amplitude, but they are traveling in opposite direction? Because we are studying standing waves, and this is a condition of standing wave. In condition of standing wave, in standing wave there is a incident wave and there is a reflected wave of opposite direction, and they superimpose with each other. Now what happens when the waves superimpose? The amplitude is the sum of individual waves. So the final amplitude is equal to, there is one wave a sin kx minus omega t plus sin kx plus omega t. Now there is a difference of phase angle. There is a 180 degree difference of phase angle. That's why this one wave is minus omega t and the second wave is plus omega t. To solve this expression, we can take help of the formula sin alpha plus beta, or sin alpha minus beta is equal to sin alpha cos beta cos alpha sin beta. And if we do that, if we substitute here, the displacement of the resultant superposition wave is sin xt is equal to 2a sin kx cos omega t. So if we substitute this expression here, we will get 2a sin kx cos omega t. Now there are two parts. One is spatial part and the other part is temporal part. I'll write this 2a sin kx as psi x, means the displacement of wave that depends upon only x, and there is another part that is cos omega t. So here in this resultant wave equation, this equation 8 is the resultant wave equation of there is a incident wave, there is a reflected wave. So what is the resultant wave equation is given by equation 8. Now here in this equation 8, suppose we want to find out node, we have to again substitute sin kx is equal to 0. So when you do that, we can find out that this node is independent of time. The position of node is independent of time. To understand that, we will take help of this picture or this graph. What happens here, this is 0 time. The first wave propagation is of 0 time, and the wave is monitored at different time intervals starting from t by 8, means 1 by 8th of the total time, up to t. At 8 different waves are considered here. So what happens in each instant, at various times, we can see the position of nodes remains same. So this is a vertical bar which shows that the position of node is independent of time. Similarly, in all position, we can find that the position of node is independent of time. That's what we get from equation 8, that the position of node, that is the wave propagates irrespective of the time. So this is so far we have discussed about non-dispersive classical wave propagation, and we have also understand something about standing waves. We'll use these two experience or these two phenomena to understand quantum mechanical wave or Schrodinger's wave equation. We have already discussed that the quantum mechanical wave equation was proposed independently by Heisenberg and Schrodinger. Both Heisenberg and Schrodinger proposed independently about quantum mechanical waves. Schrodinger's proposition was based on differential equation, whereas Heisenberg's propositions were based on matrices. But later Schrodinger had shown that both the methods are one and same. So the solution of Schrodinger's wave equation are known as wave function. The solution of time independent Schrodinger wave equations are known as stationary states. What is stationary states? We have discussed already. So solution of time independent Schrodinger wave equation is known as stationary state, and solution of Schrodinger equation in general is known as wave functions. So there are two kinds of Schrodinger wave equation. One is time dependent and the other one is time independent Schrodinger wave equation. We'll discuss both. The solution of time independent Schrodinger wave equation are known as stationary states. So first we will discuss time independent Schrodinger wave equation. As I stated at the beginning, we'll take help of non-dispersive wave propagation and standing wave propagation. So from non-dispersive wave propagation, we know the wave equation as equation 9, we have already discussed this. Then the standing wave equation is given as psi xt is equal to psi x. There is a spatial part and there is a temporal part. The spatial part was sine kx, 2a sine kx. This psi x was 2a sine kx, and there is cos omega t is the temporal part of the wave function, and this psi, capital psi xt is total wave function which depends upon both position and time. Then we'll substitute equation 10, this equation 10 that we obtained from standing wave, into equation 9, that is the non-dispersive medium expression. So what we'll get if we substitute equation 10 in equation 9, we'll get an expression like this: dou square by dou x square is equal to psi x cos omega t. Means this total wave function we are separating. The total wave function is separated into a spatial part and a temporal part. We are substituting that. If we do that here, 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. This is a partial derivative with respect to time. So psi x will be a common factor here in RHS and it will come out. So psi x will be a common factor. It will not be differentiated. Only the cos omega t part will be take part in differentiation. First differentiation will give rise to sine omega t with a omega with a negative sign. Then again one more differentiation will give rise to cos omega t with one more omega. So the final expression that we will get is minus omega square over v square psi x cos omega t. Psi x does not take part in the differentiation. So in LHS we have cos omega t, in RHS we have cos omega t. This cos omega t and cos omega t term in both the sides will be cancelled out. Then we are left with d square over dx square psi x plus omega square v square psi x is equal to 0. Now we will again substitute this angular frequency is 2 pi nu. Again this angular frequency omega is 2 pi nu, and this v is speed of propagation of wave. This v is nu lambda. I'll substitute v as nu lambda. So what I'll get, nu square lambda square here, and what I'll get here, I'll get 4 pi square nu square. So nu square will cancel out. The remaining thing will be 4 pi square over lambda square. The other things are same. So this is equation 12. Okay, so now this is, so far we have not introduced any quantum mechanical principle. In the past session we discussed how quantum mechanics is different from classical mechanics. In two aspects, quantum mechanics is different from classical mechanics. The first aspect is wave particle duality, and second aspect is quantization of energy. So we'll use any one of the factors aspect of quantum mechanics to convert this classical wave equation into quantum mechanical wave equation. So we'll use take help of de Broglie relation. Now what is de Broglie relation? It says about wave particle duality, and according to that, lambda is equal to h by mv or h by p. P is the momentum of the particle, lambda is wavelength associated with the particle, h is Planck's constant. Further, total energy of a system is sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. So total energy E is equal to kinetic energy is, we know from classical mechanics that kinetic energy is p square by 2m, and potential energy is Vx. So if we rearrange, we'll get P is equal to root over of 2m E minus Vx. E is total energy, P is momentum of the particle, V is potential energy of the system. Then according to de Broglie, we know lambda is equal to h by p. So instead of p, we will substitute root over of 2m E minus Vx. Vx. So this is according to de Broglie. I got an expression for lambda. Now I'll substitute this lambda in equation 12. I'll substitute the expression for lambda in equation 12. What I'll get an expression like equation 13. So I have substituted this lambda in equation 12. So that is simple rearrangement. I'll get an equation like 13. So further I can do some rearrangements, and there is a h bar, there is a term called h bar, and that is called reduced Planck constant, and that means h by 2 pi. H is Planck's constant, that h over 2 pi is called h bar, and that the name of the term is reduced Planck constant, and it is pronounced as h bar. So if I do that substitution, equation 13 can be rearranged into equation 14, and the equation 14 goes like minus h bar square over 2m d square psi x over dx square plus vx psi x is equal to E psi x. Equation 14 is known as time independent Schrodinger wave equation. It is important to note, equation 14 is known as time independent Schrodinger wave equation in one dimensional. The wave function obtained from equation 14 are known as stationary state wave functions. We have discussed that time independent Schrodinger wave equation gives stationary states functions. So time independent Schrodinger wave equation is a fundamental equation used to study stationary states of quantum mechanical system. The stationary states are those for which the values of observable are independent of time. Any property that does not vary with time, such a property is called stationary state property. Then we will discuss the second part of Schrodinger wave equation, that is called time dependent Schrodinger wave equation. Time dependent Schrodinger wave equation is given as IH cross d psi. This capital psi means it is a function of both position and time. This small psi means it is a function of only position x. So IH cross dou psi over dt is equal to minus h bar square over 2m dou square psi over dou x square plus vxt psi xt. This potential is also dependent upon position as well as time. Now where this time dependent Schrodinger wave equation is used, this time dependent Schrodinger wave equation is used to study a system where it varies with time. Like in IR spectroscopy, energy of molecule changes with observance of photon. So when a molecule observes photon, the energy changes. So it is a time dependent phenomena. For such kind of systems where the system under study evolves with time, to study those systems we have to use time dependent Schrodinger wave equation. Time independent Schrodinger wave equation is used for stationary states phenomena. So for stationary states, both time dependent and time independent Schrodinger wave equations are applicable. Now the time dependent Schrodinger wave equation can also be written in short form as IH cross d dou psi xt over dou t is equal to E psi xt. This whole thing, this RHS of the equation 15 is nothing but total energy. This first term is kinetic energy and the second term is potential energy, and the total this kinetic energy plus potential energy term is nothing but the total energy term, and that is equation 16. But for stationary state I can separate the spatial part and the temporal part. So if I do that, if I write my total wave function as function of spatial part and temporal part, and I substitute this separation of variable in equation 16. I'll substitute the separation of variable of total wave function into spatial part and temporal part into equation 16. What I'll get, so if I substitute psi in place of psi xt, psi x small psi is a function of x and it is a time dependent function, I'll get an expression like this: IH cross df over dt is equal to EFT. This is easy substitution. The first in the LHS it is a function of, it is a partial derivative with respect to time. So the position will remain constant, means psi x will not be affected. In the psi x will not be affected. So in the RHS also psi x will be there. So that psi x in LHS and psi x in RHS, both the sides it will be cancelled out and we will be left with this expression. And if we multiply both sides by iota, that is I means iota operator, then I will get an expression like df over dt is equal to minus e by h cross ft. So if I solve this equation, I'll get that the time dependent function is e to the power minus iet by h cross. Again I'm saying the time dependent function of the Schrodinger wave equation can be written as e into I capital E t over h cross. This capital E is nothing but the total energy of the system. So the total wave function will be given as the total wave function psi is a function of x and t is equal to psi x, the spatial part, into the time function I'll write as exponential minus iet over h cross. So with this we'll stop here. Next session we'll discuss about operator, observable, eigenfunction and eigenvalues. Thank you.